I am Nicole Kohansky, founder and lead behavior consultant for Wigglebutt Academy. Today, we're going to talk about something that can be pretty confusing and honestly, sometimes a little scary. Resource guarding. Sometimes you'll hear it called possessive aggression, but we are going to call it resource guarding because that's what most people think of when their dog is protecting something. Today, we're going to break down what it is, why it happens, and most importantly, what our dogs are trying to tell us way before they ever make a sound. Your dog, who is the sweetest dog in the world, is just hanging out, chewing a bone. You walk by, and all of a sudden, you hear this low growl. It can feel like, whoa, where did that come from? It almost feels like a betrayal. So what is really going on in their head in that moment? Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, and this is probably the biggest mindset shift you can make. This behavior, it's not about your dog being dominant or mean or suddenly turning bad. It's about something way deeper, something that's literally wired into their DNA. At its heart, resource guarding is just a normal survival skill. It's your dog's way of communicating, hey, I'm feeling a little insecure about losing this thing that's really valuable to me. So try to think of it less as aggression and more as a conversation about their anxiety. So what exactly counts as a resource? Well, it could be pretty much anything your dog decides is valuable. You've got the obvious stuff, right? Food, treats, high-value toys, but it can also be their favorite spot on the couch. It could even be a person. It could even include the soggy tissue they just fished out of the trash. To us, it's garbage. To them, it's a treasure worth protecting. And if you're wondering why this is so instinctual, let's connect the dots. This behavior goes all the way back to their wolf ancestors. It's a genetic echo from a time when guarding a kill was a matter of life and death. And those warnings, like a growl, they actually evolved to prevent big, costly fights within the pack. Instead of breaking out into a brawl, they would communicate with body language and sounds. So if the body language associated with guarding is a form of communication, what are they saying before they even get to the growl? This is where we, as caregivers, can become amazing listeners. Because, believe me, they're having a whole conversation with their bodies, and it starts out really, really quietly. The first and maybe the most common signal is the freeze. 1 second, they're happily chewing away, and the next, as you get closer, every single muscle stops moving. They become totally still, almost like a statue. This is your clearest sign that their brain has switched from enjoyment mode to defense mode. They're basically holding their breath, just waiting to see what you'll do next. And right along with that freeze, you might see this, the whale eye. You'll notice the dog's head stays pointed down at their precious item, but their eyes kind of shift over to watch you so you can see the whites of their eyes. It's actually a brilliant illustration of their internal conflict. They're trying to keep their prize safe while also keeping a very close eye on the potential threat, which, in that moment, is you. Ever seen a dog suddenly start gobbling down their food like it's a race? That's what we call accelerated consumption. It's this frantic attempt to, finish the resource before anybody has a chance to take it away. It's not about hunger. Not really. It's all about anxiety and their strategy to secure the item. Now here's another super clear but still non-vocal signal. The dog will literally use its own body as a shield or a barrier. They might lean over their food bowl or drape their body across a toy or stand right between their favorite person and someone else. It's a very physical way of saying mine, and it's unmistakable once you know what to look for. So what happens when all these quiet signals, the freeze, the whale eye, the body block, what happens when they're missed, or worse, when they're just ignored? Your dog feels like it has no choice but to escalate. It has to speak louder to be heard. This is what you may have heard as climbing the ladder of communication. Each step up this ladder is just a more intense attempt to say, "Hey, please back off." It may start as a freeze, then a growl, a clear, audible warning. If that doesn't work, a snarl adds a really powerful visual threat by showing their teeth. And the air snap, that's the final desperate warning shot before a bite actually makes contact. But here's the crucial thing to remember. Even at this stage, the dog is still trying to avoid a bite. These are all warnings. And that brings us to a critical safety message. Our human instinct when we hear a growl might be to scold the dog, to correct it. We think we're teaching them not to be aggressive, but what we're actually doing is incredibly dangerous. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The veterinary behavior science on this is crystal clear. This quote says it all. When we punish the warning signs, we don't actually fix the anxiety underneath. We just make the eventual explosion even more intense. Let's break that down because it's so important. When you punish communication, your dog may skip over that rung on the ladder and go straight to a bite. Let's dig in for a second. A growl is your dog saying, "I am really uncomfortable." Your dog is saying, "Please stop." That's valuable information for us. But when we punish that growl, we teach them a terrifying lesson. Warning doesn't work. They think, next time, I have to skip the warning and go straight to the bite. We are, in effect, taking the batteries out of our own smoke detector. The warning is gone, but the fire is still there. So now that we can read the signs and we understand the huge danger of punishment, what do we actually do? How do we turn all this knowledge into a safer, more trusting relationship with our dogs? It really comes down to these three things. First, become a student of your dog. Observe. Pay attention to all that quiet body language. Second, manage the environment to set them up for success. If your dog guards bones, don't leave bones lying all over the house, and give your dog the bone in a safe spot. And finally, and this is a big one, if the behavior has escalated to snapping or biting, this is not a do-it-yourself project. It's time to seek help from a qualified professional who knows how to change the underlying emotion, not just suppress the warnings. So the next time you see your dog freeze over their food bowl, or you catch them giving you a little whale eye, we hope you'll see it differently. It's not an act of defiance, but a quiet, vulnerable question. Can I please have some space? Thank you so much for spending some of your valuable time with us today. If you have a specific question or you think your dog may be guarding resources, we're here for you when you need us.